If you've never crocheted before, this is the easiest place to start. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you how to hold a crochet hook, make your first slip knot, chain, and single crochet your way into a simple dishcloth, step by step in slow, non-confusing terms. By the end, you'll have a finished square and you'll actually know the basics. Now listen, crochet can look complicated when you see all the abbreviations and patterns online, but really all it is just repeated motions over and over again. And today, I'm going to break it up so clearly that you'll be able to understand it even if you've never touched yarn before. Hi everybody, my name is Jessica Telford, Jess Telford here on YouTube, and I've been crocheting since I was 11 years old. I run a small crochet business and I'm a mom of 2 boys. Well, 1 toddler and 1 boy on the way. And so I don't have a whole lot of time to crochet, but I still find time to run my business and crochet for fun. And today I'm going to show you exactly how to. Before we start, let's keep this super simple. You only need 3 things. Yarn, a crochet hook, and some scissors. So the yarn I recommend is cotton yarn for this project because it can be washed and dried the best and is very durable. I got this yarn at Hobby Lobby. It wasn't very expensive, so it's great if you're just starting to learn to crochet. What you're going to want to do is make sure it is 100% cotton. And you can do that by looking at the label. It should say 100% cotton. And we'll talk about yarn labels in another video, but just for today, make sure it's 100% cotton and that it is a weight 4 yarn. This crochet hook is 5 millimeters. It should say 5 millimeters here on the handle. This crochet hook is pretty old. I probably inherited this from my mom when she taught me to crochet when I was 11. And it probably came from Walmart. You can get them at Walmart in packs of several different sizes. You can also get them at Hobby Lobby or other craft stores or even on Amazon in packs of multiple sizes, which is a good budget-friendly option to build your kit. But you can also buy single sizes online and at various craft stores like Hobby Lobby or Michael's. And then scissors. Nothing fancy about them. Just scissors I got from the store. That's it. No fancy tools, no complicated setup. And if your yarn feels easy to hold and your hook feels comfortable in your hand, you're good to go. Now let's talk about how to hold everything. First, your hook. You can hold it a couple of different ways. You can hold it like a pencil, or you can hold it like a knife. I personally prefer to hold it like a knife, but there is no right way or wrong way. Just whatever feels natural to you. Just kind of try out a few stitches when we get to that point, holding it each way, and then decide what feels more comfortable for you. Again, a pencil or a knife, okay? So now with your yarn. First, we actually need to find the yarn. Now, there are a couple different things you can do. You can pull from the outside, which is what this yarn is. I prefer to pull from the outside. Even though technically this yarn says to pull from the outside, you don't have to listen to that part of the yarn label, okay? You can do what you want. So I just have to find in the middle. Sometimes it's a little bit hard. Sometimes I have to pull out a lot, and I call that gutting the fish. This wasn't a very big one though. And then we just find the end right there. I'm gonna detangle it a little bit because it needs to be detangled. Now you're gonna wrap the yarn loosely around your fingers. There are a few different ways to do it. So I'm going to show you a few different ways. First is my favorite way, where I take my palm. I wrap the yarn in front of my pinky and around the back until you reach the bottom of your pinky, okay? Then you're going to reach it above all 4 of your fingers until you're in front of your index finger, and then you're going to wrap it around the back of your index finger. And then you'll be able to hold the yarn like that. Okay, I'm going to show you one more time. Palm of your hand, front of your pinky, around the back of your pinky, in front of all 4 fingers until you're in front of your index finger, around the back of your index finger until you're in between your index finger and your middle finger, and then you can hold it and kind of hold your finger out, kind of like this, okay? Another way I've seen people do it is just wrapping it around your index finger like that. This is going to make your work looser, whereas I find that this method makes it a little bit tighter and more even stitching. But again, there's no right way, just find what feels natural and what you like best. And you're gonna wanna be able to let it glide. It's not too tight, it's not too loose. We don't wanna be cutting off circulation in our fingers, but we also don't want it to be making our projects too loose. So just fiddle around with it, practice it. This is your first project. It's not gonna be perfect, and that's okay. Just do your best and find what feels right for you. It might feel awkward right now, and that's perfectly normal. Everyone feels this way at the start, even I did. It takes some practice, but once you get the hang of it, you can go on forever. Okay, so now we are going to learn your first stitch, which is the slip knot. So you're gonna take your yarn. This is how you're gonna start most crochet projects, particularly beginner ones. This is how you're gonna start them. So you're gonna make a slip knot. The way that I like to do it is like this. I take my index finger and I wrap it around my index finger like this until the yarn end and the yarn cross, like that. And then I hold on to where the yarns intersect, pull it off of my finger. I keep holding on to that intersected yarn, right? Okay, now you're gonna take the long end of the yarn, not the short end, but the long end. You're gonna take it, put a loop through this loop right here, okay? Until you have something that looks like that, okay? Then you're gonna hold on to the loop you just made and then onto the end of your yarn, and you're gonna pull, okay? Till you have this tightened loop, right? And then from there, you're gonna be able to stick your crochet hook in, take your working yarn, which is the long tail end that's attached to your skein of yarn, and tighten it to your crochet hook like that. I'm gonna show you how to do it again, okay? We're gonna take it again, wrap it around our index finger like this, okay? So we have it intersecting. Then you take the yarn, if you can kind of see, push the working yarn through the loop, okay? And pull till you have this little loop right here. Then again, you stick your crochet hook in and you pull it tight, just like that. Now, not too tight. You want to still be able to get, I even maybe did a little bit too tight, but so you can move your crochet hook in it. So it's not super tight, but it can kind of wiggle around, okay? You don't want it too loose that it's just falling off, right? A good test is if you can flip it upside down and it doesn't fall off your hook, then you're golden, but it can still wiggle around like this, okay? So now we're gonna learn how to chain. Once you've learned your slip knot, you're gonna move on to chaining, and that's gonna create the foundation of your dishcloth, okay? So again, wrap your yarn however you like. I'm gonna do it this way, and then I actually hold on to the knot around the slip knot, and that's what I hold on to, okay? So then, here's how we chain, okay? You're gonna take it, you're gonna take your crochet hook, you're gonna yarn over, which means simply putting the yarn over your crochet hook. I like to flip it upside down so that the hook part is actually grabbing the yarn. Then you're gonna take it and pull it through your loop. Easy peasy, just like that, okay? We're gonna do it again. Now, I don't typically do it the pencil way, but I'm gonna show you the pencil way so you can kind of get the idea. You're gonna yarn over, okay? Flip it upside down and pull it through. Again, no right way or wrong way. You still end up with 2 chains here, okay? Those are what the chains will look like. It just depends on however you feel comfortable. I feel comfortable this way. I've been doing it this way forever. So just find what feels good for you. It still ends up the same. So now we're gonna do it again and again. We're gonna do 31 chains, or until it fits the length or the width of your dishcloth that you want. So again, super, super slow, yarn over, flip it upside down, pull through your yarn. yarn over, flip it upside down, pull through your loop, okay? And I do move my fingers up the chain as I make it so that it's just under your crochet hook like that, okay? So right now we have 1, 2, 3, 4 chains. Again, this is what they look like. It kind of looks like a little braid, okay? And we're gonna do this until we reach 31 chains, okay? 31. Okay, we now have all of our chains. We have this nice long line of chains, our nice little braid. I actually using this yellow yarn, it looks like a Rapunzel braid, so that's kind of cute. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to do our next stitch, which is a single crochet. This is going to be a smaller stitch than some of the other ones we'll learn later on. Not in this video. This video we're just focusing on the single crochet, but it makes it for a smaller work, which is going to be great for a dishcloth to make sure it's durable and it holds up really well. So you can do a couple of things when it comes to chaining. You can crochet into the braid side, or you can flip it over and crochet into these little bumps right here, okay? I prefer to do it in the bumps because then it leaves you with the braid side on the outside, and I think that's prettier. But however you feel comfortable is how you're gonna do it. So I'm gonna show you both ways. First, I'm gonna show you how to do it in the braid side because that is how I started. And you're gonna see, you have this braid and then this braid, or chains. You have this chain and you have this chain, okay? You're going to skip this first one and crochet into the second one, okay? And what I like to do is, because on this chain, there's kind of a V, okay? There's that one and that one. I'm gonna crochet into the back side of the V, the one that is furthest from me. You're going to do this. You're going to put your hook inside the V, see? And you're gonna have 1, 2 loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over, okay? Yarn over, flip it upside down, and pull through the first loop on your hook, okay? Till again, you have 2 loops again. You're gonna reach over, yarn over, flip it upside down, and pull through both. Again, it might feel a little awkward at first, but you've got your first single crochet. Now I am going to undo this because I do prefer to do it in the back bumps. And so I'm gonna show you how to do that too, okay? So again, you're gonna look at the back of your chain, okay? You've got this bump and the next bump. You're gonna crochet in the second bump, okay? You're going to, again, find the bump, insert your crochet hook into the bump, okay? Again, you'll have 2 loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over, turn it around, and pull through until you have 2 loops on your hook again, right? Again, yarn over, flip it upside down, and pull through 2 till you have a single crochet. So now I'm going to show you with the pencil method, if that is what you choose to do, okay? So you're going to take your crochet hook, insert it into the next bump, yarn over, flip it upside down, pull through the bump, okay? And then you're going to yarn over, flip it upside down, pull through both loops, okay? And then you see 2 single crochets, okay? So now we're going to single crochet all the way to the end of our chain. Be sure to keep your chain nice and straight so it doesn't twist around, okay? And we are going to go all the way to the end. That's going to make 30 single crochets in total, okay? Because we skipped that first one, remember? So I'm gonna do a few more times kind of slow. In the bump, yarn over, flip it upside down, pull through the bump. Yarn over, flip it upside down, pull through both loops. One more time. Yarn, crochet hook into the bump, yarn over, flip it upside down, pull through the bump, yarn over, flip it upside down, pull through both loops. Okay, you can kind of give it a tug to straighten it out. But look, we have our nice little line of single crochets. I'm going to speed things up. We're going to go to the end, and then I'll meet you back at the end. And 30. Okay, we're gonna pull it tight. Look at that. We've got our line of single crochets. Okay, once you reach the end, here's what you're gonna do. Do you remember our chain stitch from the beginning? You're gonna do another one of those at the end because we're gonna turn our work. I'm gonna show you. You're gonna do a chain, remember, yarn over, pull through, okay? And then all you're gonna do is turn it around just like that. Easy peasy. And then you're going to do the same thing again. Now this time it's going to be a little different. If you did the bump method, it's not going to be in the bump. And even if you did the V-stitch method, it's going to look a little different. So if you see at the top of, these are the top of our single crochets, and you see that they have those V's like our chains. So instead of just, I'm going to move so you can see a little bit better. Instead of just going through the back loop, okay, like that, you're gonna go through both loops. Now this is our chain that we just made. We're gonna skip that and not crochet into it, but instead put our crochet hook underneath both sides of the V, just like that. And then do a single crochet through both sides of the V, and you're gonna do that the entire way through. Now this is where it kind of becomes the same thing over and over again, okay? Row after row, same stitch, same rhythm. This is kind of where it might start clicking, okay? At first, you kind of start, when you first start crocheting, you kind of are thinking about every movement, but after a few rows, your hands start to remember. You start building that muscle memory. Yeah, you're gonna keep going until your piece forms a square. So I'm gonna have us do 30 rows of single crochets, okay? But until we reach those 30 rows, we're gonna chat a little bit. So let me save you some frustration here. If your edges start to look uneven, okay, then it might mean that you're missing the first or last stitch, which is totally normal because sometimes it's hard to differentiate where the stitches are. It'll come with practice, and you'll understand and you'll be able to notice where the stitches are and how to notice where the last chain is and all those different things. When I get to the end of this row, I will kind of show you how you can tell. If your piece is tightening or it's getting really, really tight, you're probably pulling the yarn too tight with this finger. It makes it really hard to work. So just keep it loose, relax, enjoy yourself. This is fun, okay? And then on the other hand, if it's getting too loose, then you just need a little bit more control. You might like this method of holding your yarn better, which will keep it from getting too loose. But again, just keep what feels natural, keep practicing. Even if it is a little too tight or a little too loose, that's normal. You'll get into the rhythm and you'll be able to figure it out. Eventually, I know that sounds like such a cop-out answer, like I'm taking the easy way and not explaining it to you. Trust me, just keep practicing. It's gonna click, I promise, okay? And then remember, mistakes aren't failure. they're actually feedback. So you can actually look back in your work and see the places where you may have messed up and be able to be like, okay, what did I do there? And then actually you'll learn faster through making mistakes than if you never made any mistakes, which I know that sounds like such a cliche. You know, we all probably learned that in elementary school or something, but in case you never did, here's your lesson on mistakes are not a bad thing. So we're here at the last couple of stitches, okay? You're just gonna see 2 final V's, okay? Now there is a little bit of a knot at the end there, but that's the knot, it's small. Your V's are gonna be at the top. 1, 2, that's your final stitch. You're gonna crochet into both of them. Another way to help you not miss stitches is to count as you go. You know that you need to have 30 stitches in this project, so count 30 until you get to the end. And then again, you're going to chain and turn at the end of every row. So we're gonna finish our 30 rows, and then we're gonna come back here and work on finishing the project together. You're doing a great job.
Okay, so now we have the dishcloth. You've done 30 rows or however many you wanted to do to get the certain shape you want. It is a customizable pattern. But now it's time to finish it. So we've done the final stitch here. The final stitch is complete. And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna cut the yarn. Now, you can cut the yarn tail as long as you'd like. I don't like to go very long, just about that much, because I don't like to waste a lot of yarn. So then you're going to, once you've cut the yarn, you've got this loop on your hook, and you're just gonna pull it out. That's it. And then just pull it tight, just like that. Now, that locks everything in place. And then next is weaving in ends. I guess you don't really have to, it is up to you, but I like to, so I'm going to show you how. You see on the side how we have these stitches here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just stick my hook in, grab the yarn, and pull it through. And I'm just going to kind of go back and forth until I've weaved in the whole tail. I go in about every row. We don't want it to be too much yarn or too many rows in between each time we pull the yarn through, because otherwise it's going to be easier to see, which will make it not look quite as neat. There we go. See? So that's all we've done. We can't see it anymore. And then we've got this other yarn tail from when we started. I'm going to just go up the side. You could also go down the bottom if you wanted to, but I'm going to go up the side. Okay, there we go, all weaved in. And now we have made a dishcloth. You did it. You made this dishcloth. That is so cool. Thank you for letting me make it with you. And just like that, you've completed your first crochet project. Yay! Round of applause for you. Not just watched, you actually did it. If you got stuck at any point or something didn't quite make sense, comment below and I'll help you. And if you're ready for the next step, keep your eye out for my next video where I'll show you the next few steps so that you can continue and grow without getting overwhelmed. Because this is just the beginning. Thanks for crocheting along, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!